One of the biggest problems I think that we have today is that too many of us wax poetic about the people 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. We have this image of them as if they were so wise. They had this hidden knowledge. And the truth is, the people back then were primitive and ignorant. Now, I'm not saying that to insult them, because I'm not saying they were stupid. It's a difference between being stupid and ignorant. And they were ignorant. They were ignorant of so many things that we know today. They just didn't know back then. And especially in regards to natural phenomena. There were certain things they saw in nature that they were afraid of because they didn't understand it. So they came up with stories to explain it, and they wrote them down in their little books. The Norsemen used to believe that thunder and lightning was as a result of Thor throwing his hammer or riding his chariot. Whatever. They used to teach that, and they wrote it in their books. So, am I now, in 2010, supposed to pick up one of the sagas of the Norsemen and learn from that Thor is responsible for the thunder and lightning? No. It's the equivalent of using an outdated textbook in school. The information in there is outdated. We live in a day and time now where we process information faster than ever before. We have a superior way of acquiring information. We're not using rune stones. We're not looking at chicken bones. We're not listening to some obviously disturbed individual ranting and raving and foaming at the mouth, saying that they're hearing and getting information from spirits and demons. We're not doing that now. So I refuse to be a slave of the books and literature that was written back then. This is not to say that you can't learn something from them, but you have to learn it in the context of the era and time that these books was written. And a lot of us, we have this image of the people back then that I don't think fits the reality of the people back then. Because you had these sparks of brilliance. But you had an awful lot of barbarous, uncivilized behavior going on back then because it was man's infancy. We have progressed from that time to now. And I'm in no hurry to go back to their medical practices 2,000 years ago. I'm in no hurry to go back to the educational system 2,000 years ago. Because right now I'm sitting in Laurel, Maryland, and some of you aren't even in the country that I'm in. But if I find out some new information, I can pretty much get you that information almost instantaneously. That's the difference between now and then. At least that's one of the differences between now and then. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing. The problem we are having today, though, is that people with a 14,000-year-old worldview, 2,000-year-old worldview, have their hands on 21st century technology. And that's a problem. What we do is, to solve this problem, is try to get these people up to today. And you don't do that by reading these old books and taking them literally and thinking you can gain any kind of knowledge about what's going on in the world today from looking back then. That's all I really got to say about that.